Hello, hello. I am live. Can I be honest with you guys? I don't even want to be live today. I don't want to go live. I don't want to talk about anything. I want to go hang out with my kids. I don't feel like sitting here staring at my computer today, but you know what? I guess that's part of having a business sometimes is just doing things that you need to do, even though you don't want to do it. I guess it's also what it's like to be a mom. And of course, if you guys are tuning in live and you registered for the webinar, we also had a snafu with our software and the webinar link isn't working. So it's been a very lovely morning already for me. So I'm going to drink some coffee. But I am here. And I am here every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central to answer all of your questions about starting a bookkeeping business so that you can have financial freedom and the flexibility to be able to be home with your kids and, be the kind of parent that you want to be without having to choose between being broke and being home with your kids or having money and being a slave at a corporate environment. So Amy says, but we love seeing you. Thank you so much, Amy. Some days, like everybody experiences this, you just don't feel it. And for a while, I've been kind of stuck in that mode, but I'm coming out of it. But it really annoys me when technology doesn't work and things don't go as planned. But you just have to roll with the punches because there's lots of punches when you scale a business. So what we teach you guys in the academy is how to start your own business and run your business for yourself. So you're the only person, you're the only team member, the only one that you have to worry about, of course, aside from your clients. And there are challenges with that, but it's a lot more simple. So then when you get to the point where you want to learn how to scale your business and have multiple team members and a lot more customers, a lot more things going on, it's a whole nother dynamic, a whole nother beast, if you will. So that's what we have for the inner circle. And that's what we help people with in there, because as you guys can see today, there are lots of challenges that come along with scaling. Lots of different programs, lots of different things to track, lots of different software that you're going to use, and learning each little piece. And of course, technology doesn't always work right. But nevertheless, we're going to get started. And Amy, I appreciate you tuning in and everyone else that's watching as well. And if you have any specific questions for me, I would love to answer your questions since you have taken time out of your day to sit here and listen to me talk. So now's your chance to get some free insight, tips, and coaching from me. You've got me for the next 30 to 45 minutes or so. Dana says, I love your openness this morning. We are stronger than our stinking challenges. Yes, absolutely. Everything isn't always perfect. Sometimes people think that from the outside, but everybody struggles, right? There's struggles, with all sorts of things that happen in life, but it's really just how you react to those and getting up and doing it again. I have this little rule for myself that if I have a setback or something bad happens to me in business or in anything, that I allow myself to have a 24-hour time span where I can sulk and be mad and cry, be depressed, question everything. And then after that 24-hour period, I just get up and move on and I get back at it and keep going. And really, that's the secret sauce to success for anyone, is being able to get up and go. So, and despite those challenges and all the reasons and all of the excuses that you can give to yourself for like justifying why you don't want to move forward, because there's a million reasons, right? A million reasons why you can choose not to do anything, whether it's like eating healthy or exercising or, doing something with your kids or growing your business or whatever it is. There's so many hard things in life, and there's lots of reasons why you could just say, oh, well, I'm not going to do it. But I usually give myself 24 hours when I'm feeling that way. And then I get up the next day and make myself do it anyway. So I think there's a book about that. I think it's called Grit. I think I have it. Let's see. I have it. I haven't fully read this, but this is a good book to read if you're struggling with sticking to things. And you find yourself making a lot of excuses for not getting things done and justifying it and rationalizing it to yourself. This is a good book to really help yourself overcome that particular thing that you're struggling with in life. And if you have children, there is a teens version of this book that I also own, that I have yet to convince my children to read, but I do own it. So I like that book. Okay, so today our live is really a topic about how to balance having your business while you're going, getting all your kids ready for back to school, and things are a little bit more hectic than usual. So I have a couple of tips for that. Well, personally for me, back to school was actually an easier situation because obviously if you have kids in school, you're going to get a lot more time on your hands. So what you need to do is be incredibly intentional about your day that you have when the kids are at school. So if you're running your business and your kids are in public or private school, or they, leave the house for 6 hours a day and you don't have toddlers or babies at home to worry about, and you can focus on your business, you want to make sure that you plan out your day, that you structure it very intentionally so that you can maximize your productivity. Because if you don't plan and you're not structured in your day, then you will very quickly and very easily fall off track without really noticing it. So if you're wanting to put your business in the forefront, I want to share my screen and we'll just do like I'll do a little lesson on the order of importance. So let's see, we'll make this big font so you guys can see it. And I'm going to move this over here so I can make sure you can see my screen. Okay. So when you are planning your day for being intentional, you want to maximize getting stuff done while your kids are in school. So that way, when they get off the bus or you go pick them up, then you have full attention on your children. And, let's face it, 6 hours a day while your kids are in school, that can literally fly by, super fly by. So you really want to make sure you have a game plan. So this is the order of importance when you are working with clients and you're working in your business. This is what you should always tackle first. Number one, always start with your marketing. So the only thing that is ever going to move your business forward is marketing. So if you don't start with this every day and you don't put marketing as your priority every day, no matter what you have on your plate, you're going to hesitate to grow your business. It's going to stall. You're not going to be able to continue to grow. So if you haven't reached your revenue goals, you haven't reached your financial goals with your business, you always want to start your day with marketing. Now, if you're getting a lot of organic leads, people coming at you out of the woodwork, because for those of you that don't know it, it happens. Once you get some traction, you get a decent client base, you start to develop relationships with people that send you constant referrals. I see it all the time. Tons of people in our academy and in our inner circle group experience this, so much so that they have to learn how to hire, because otherwise they have to start telling people no. So, but in the meantime, until you get to that point, you always want to start your day with marketing. It's the only thing that moves your business forward and your personal life forward, marketing. Okay. The second priority is going to be onboarding new clients. So let's say you have a whole bunch of work to do and there's a bunch of clients, current clients, old clients, new clients, marketing, blah, blah, blah. This is the order that you're going to do it. So if you have any new clients that have signed your engagement letter, you need to process their payment, and then you need to focus on whatever you need to do that day to move the process forward in onboarding those clients. Your new clients are going to be the most important thing that you want to focus on after you focus on marketing, because you want to wow them with your customer service. This first initial phase with a new client is going to be the most important. Okay. The next thing you're going to focus on in this order is, let's see, new client workload. Okay. So I'm going to make this look prettier. Whoops. New client onboarding and then new client workload. So even though you may have current clients that have stuff that needs to get done, your new client workload is going to be more important, because you want to make sure that you get that stuff done and you wow those clients at the beginning, because then they will stay with you for life, even if from time to time, month to month, you don't necessarily turn around their stuff immediately like you did at the beginning. So it's really important to have a really great customer service for these clients at the beginning. Then the last thing that you're going to work on is current client workload. So anyone that you've already have, that they're on monthly reoccurring maintenance, you're doing their monthly books, you're sending them financials, they're going to be the last one that you work on. Obviously, your goal is to get all of this stuff done in a timely manner where you're meeting client expectations or exceeding them, meeting the deadlines and so on and so forth. But there's always going to be current client workload to do no matter what. So it is really important that you do focus on the new clients first and then move on to the current clients. If necessary, you can always catch up on current client work at the end of the month or right after month end. So that way you can still get their financials out timely and you can just batch their work instead of working on it daily or weekly like you're used to doing. So these are the things when you are planning your day for your business to maximize your efficiency while your kids are in school. This is the order in which that you want to complete things. Another really cool pro tip is to track your time. So if you have been in the academy or are currently in the academy and you're graduating and you're close to your 13th month, we actually have a new program called Academy Alumni we are rolling out. And this is a monthly membership model for anyone that's been in the academy previously. Maybe they don't necessarily want to grow a team, but they still want help. They still want support. So the Academy Alumni is going to get you access to an extra coaching call every month to help you with these things, the next level things. So one of the things that we are going to be doing in there is learning how to track your time for self-awareness so that you can understand how much time you're spending on each client, how much time you're spending on new clients during the onboarding phase, the new client workload phase, how much time you're spending on marketing. And you can then from there collect that data and decide how you want to move forward. And then we're going to start pre-planning your week so you can really set yourself up for maximum efficiency and a lot of success. So if you are interested in doing that, definitely comment below Academy Alumni. We'll get you some information on that. But these are the most important things to start with. So when you are going back to school, getting your kids back acclimated to that, these are the things that you want to focus on. Now, also want to talk about the whole work-life balance conundrum. So I have had a lot of questions from people in the past that how do you do all of this with your kids at home and whatnot. And I actually got a lot of advice from some famous people like Barbara Cochran. She's from Shark Tank. I actually got the chance to ask her how she managed growing her real estate empire and all of her businesses and also growing her family at the same time and what that looked like for her. And one of the things that she said was that she really tried to keep business and home life separate as much as possible. In the beginning, You can't do that because you don't have the funds for both. But then you get to the point where you can start hiring help, and you can hire help in your business. But what she recommended is hiring help at home. And I've really leaned into that. And it's, over time and over the years, I've added this, and you should always be looking for these things to add to your life to help you, because this will help you grow your business, grow financial freedom, grow flexibility, and still allow you to be around and be present for your kids. And so that some of these things are starting small. You want to maybe hire somebody to come in every couple of weeks and do a deep clean, so you don't ever have to worry or think about doing the deep cleaning again. When I had someone that was coming every couple of weeks, I think it only cost maybe like $300 or less per month, probably less than that. That's the equivalent of one client. And if you think about it, one client should only take you about 3 hours per month to complete the work. And how many hours a week would it take you to deep clean your whole house, or every other week? So, maybe like 8 hours if you actually did a really, really good job. So that may be 16 hours for the month. So you can get, if it's going to take you 16 hours to deep clean your house each month, but it only takes you 3 hours to do the bookkeeping for someone, and that's the same price that client is going to pay for you to clean your house, then you're going to get 16 minus 3, 13 hours per month back. You basically bought time back for you. So I always encourage people, before you decide to upgrade your lifestyle with your business, you want to definitely think about hiring people to get things off of your plate. So that way you have that built into your budget, and you can have more time freedom, because that's way more important than having more stuff. And take it from me, I've done both routes, and getting more stuff is great and all, but it doesn't allow you to have more freedom. You won't actually have the freedom that you desire, because you're still going to be bound by paying for those things. So hiring people to help at home was Barbara Cochran's number one pro tip, was to get people to help. So I started off with having a housekeeper, and that housekeeper came out every 2 weeks. And then when I realized I was still feeling like I needed to clean, pick up here and there, we decided it was going to be worth the investment to have them come every week. And so that was really great, because then it's only 2 super small clients, and now I could have a clean house all the time. And as you guys may know, if you hire a housekeeper every 2 weeks, by the end of the 14 days, your house feels really dirty compared to what it was at the beginning. And it's nice to have a really clean and calm environment to work and raise your kids in. So for us, it was worth it to start having someone come every week. And we did that for several years, and that worked really, really well, until we decided to scale our business some more. And then from there, we decided it would be a really great idea to have somebody come every day. And so now we actually have a housekeeper that comes every day, and she does all the normal stuff. So like, we don't even have to worry about washing our sheets and doing our laundry. We have someone that comes and does our laundry now, and cleans and mops. And it's great, because I don't ever have to worry or think about those tasks. And not only does it free up all of that headspace of like thinking and worrying about that, but it also frees up so much of my time. I literally don't spend a minute of my life cleaning anymore, like ever. And I'm not even exaggerating about that. So what's great about that is, if let's say, she works about 30 hours a week. So I can take that 30 hours a week and I can just get that time back. I don't have to do that kind of stuff, or I can invest that into my business now and turn around and make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars more than what it costs to have a housekeeper, even a part-time to full-time housekeeper like that, which is really important. So we're talking about balance, right? We're talking about how can you juggle your business while you're going back to school, or while your kids are going back to school, or really at any point in time. How do you juggle your business when you have little kids at home? So everybody's in a slightly different financial situation. And I will say in the beginning, it's very difficult, especially if you need every penny that your business brings in to pay for your bills or support your current lifestyle. But the second you hit that, then you're going to want to start having things like this come into your life so that it eases the load and the challenge that you have, so that you have more energy, more brain power, more bandwidth to focus on growing your business and to focus on being with your kids. So you don't want to start your business and then basically add that to your plate, right? So you're already maybe you're already a mom, you're already the cook for the house, you're already the housekeeper, the person who does all the laundry and all the cleaning, you're the taxi, you're the homework tutor, you're everything, right? You're everything. So as you add, you're going to add business owner to that, right? So that's okay in the beginning, but it's great if you can get some of these other little things off of your plate. So some of the other things that I also were able to take off my plate is cooking. So currently right now we have a private chef that comes to our house every day, 5 days a week, and she cooks lunch and dinner for my family. And every single day we sit down at noon and we sit down at 5 and we have family lunch and dinner together. And that was super important to me. I didn't want to sacrifice that quality time of all of us sitting around the table as I'm growing my business, but I didn't really have the time to cook. And we started to eat out a lot, and I didn't like that. So I decided to invest in having somebody come here and take that burden off of my mind and off of my plate, so to speak, so that I could still provide healthy meals for my family and we could still get that quality time of sitting around the table all together. Now, I think it would cost around, let's see, let me add this together, maybe 15 clients. Let's see. I don't know, 15 to 20 clients is what it would take to have a full-time chef. Okay, that's not really that many, 15 to 20 clients. And that's paying for a full-time chef. Now, you don't have to go straight for that. I didn't do that either. I started off as hiring a meal prep delivery service where I had somebody that would make meals for us and drop them off at our house. Then it advanced to having somebody that actually came to our house like every Monday and meal prepped all the food for our family and put it in the fridge in small containers. And we did that for a long time as well. So there's various stages of that. And I will say it's very affordable. I believe it only cost me about $250 a week. So that's like $1,000 a month to have somebody come every week and spend the entire day. They grocery shopped, they meal prepped, and then they put it all in containers in the fridge, and we had food for the entire week. And that was about $1,000 a month. That's the equivalent of 3 to 4 super small clients covers that entire expense. And then you don't ever have to cook. So everybody has different goals and priorities with their family, but these are some examples of how you can help with the balancing of growing your business and growing your family, and then getting to actually spend that extra time doing the things that you really want to do, not the things that you just necessarily have to do. So it does take a little bit of a shift in your mindset to be able to think that that's what you should do, because a lot of us are taught as women, as moms, that we need to take care of people, that we need to do these things, and that's what we're supposed to do. So it takes a little bit of a shift for you to get in that mindset of, hey, it's okay if somebody else does this for me. It's okay if somebody helps me. And now I can do things like go to the library with my kids, or sit and read them a story, or homeschool them, or whatever it is that really you like to do with your kids and with your family. So that is my main tips on balancing growing this business and having kids at home. So everybody needs to sit down. They need to make a priority list. What are the reasons why you are starting this business? Why do you want to start this business? And what impact do you want this to have on your life? And how do you want to make you feel? So if you are doing this so that you can have more time to spend with your kids, then you should be making decisions all the time that are going to relate to that. So for me, starting a business has been 100% about my kids. I want to be there for my kids. I want to experience all of their milestones. I want to be present. I want to raise them. And when I step away from my business and I have to spend hours in the kitchen while I have the TV on to keep them entertained, that just wasn't aligned with me anymore. So you just have to think about that. Having somebody cook for you, that solved my problem of not getting to spend quality time with my kids. So that is what I chose to do. So as long as you know what your goals are and your priorities are, then you can make constant decisions in that direction. So if you guys are watching this, let me know what you think about this. How many of you have somebody that cleans your house? How many of you have somebody that you pay to cook for you, or you do meal prep or delivery service or something like that? And if you don't, comment below. And if you don't, please let me know what your thoughts are about this. I'd love to know. The other thing that I always like to tell people as well, especially if you're in the beginning stages of growing a business and you've got a small family at home, and everybody is wondering, well, how do you balance all of this? How do you balance it? Well, I don't think you do. I don't think you can. There are like ups and downs, busy periods, slower periods with your business and with your family life, right? Just depending on what your kids are involved in, what you have going on, how many kids you have. Are you in the season of growing your family? Are your kids getting older? There's a lot of different factors. But if you're in the midst of doing a lot at once, growing your family, growing this business, your kids are very active, they're very busy. Maybe you have a lot like I do. I have 5 if you don't know. Then you have to really get okay with juggling and realizing that there's no standard of perfect that you can put yourself up to, especially as a parent. So learning how to juggle is going to be the best way for you to be able to balance all of this. So your focus should be on whatever is needing your attention. So for example, you're bouncing back and forth, you're juggling all these balls, and you're bouncing back and forth between the business and then the kids and then your spouse and maybe your friends and your social life and your exercising. And so you kind of have to bounce back and forth. When you notice one of the balls is dropping and you might not catch it, that's the one that you need to go catch. I learned this metaphor from Elena Cardone. And if you don't know who she is a billionaire real estate investor married to Grant Cardone. He's written books called the 10X Rule and really helps people, scale their business, scale their life. And even as a billionaire who has multiple personal assistants, she still encompasses this philosophy of juggling versus balancing anything. And I really think it's a great lesson to learn, because even at that level, when you have lots of people around to help you, there's still a lot of balancing. So learn or juggling. So if you can learn how to juggle and you can be okay with that, you're going to be a much happier person. And also listening to your instincts and not being afraid to ask for help, because a lot of us aren't afraid to ask for help. And, quite frankly, in the beginning of your business, you may not be able to afford help, but that's when you need to keep in your mind, the second you can afford help, it needs to happen. So I'm specifically thinking of a couple of people that I know that are growing their bookkeeping businesses right now that have, 4 and 5 kids like I do, and they're all small. And, perhaps I think a few of these people in my mind are actually stay-at-home moms. So they don't necessarily have a job to juggle, but they have young kids at home that are constantly needing their attention, constantly needing their help. And so what you have to do is, in the beginning, you have to let one of those balls start to drop. For example, maybe it's cleaning your house. Maybe you're not going to do the laundry every day meticulously like you used to. You're going to let it go and do it once a week so that you can focus on your business. So you may have to let that ball almost drop, the laundry ball almost drop, or the dishes in the sink ball almost drop, or maybe you have to eat out for a little bit until you've grown your business. You've got all your attention on this business ball. And then once you've grown your business a little bit, you've got a couple of clients, don't go out and buy anything. Don't go out and buy stuff. You need to take that money and you need to invest in your health. So maybe you hire somebody that meal preps for you. and you get all that extra time back. So maybe on a playing field, financially, you're even keel. You have new clients, but you don't have more money, but it's because now you have all this help in the kitchen. And then you go get another client, but now you have all this time that you're not using to cook or worry about that mess. And now you've got extra profit. So that is my biggest suggestion for you guys, especially if you've got a lot of kids or a lot of little kids at home or a lot of responsibilities pulling you in different directions. Write down like the top 10 things that you would do at home to help you. Who would you hire to help you as you start to grow your business? What would you like to take off your plate so that you can spend more time with your kids? At first, you need to add business responsibilities to your plate, because that business is going to allow you the financial freedom to be able to hire these people to give you your time back. Without the business, you can't buy your time back. So you have to keep the business responsibilities on there, but there are a lot of other things that you can get off your plate that will give you time back. So make a list of the top 5 or 10 things that you could do to buy your time back. That's going to be really important as you keep growing your business. Stephanie says she doesn't have anyone hiring, but that is her goal. Awesome. Yes. Tiffany says we have a cleaner and we use the Home Chef HelloFresh, and that helps a lot on the food side. Yes, I totally agree. I used to use some of those services as well and really like that. Miranda says we have a housekeeper that comes every 3 weeks. Fantastic. I love it. Keep thinking of ways where you can continue to maximize in your life. Housekeepers are typically the most common of all of these. So if you can keep looking for other ways, what is taking, and this is where time tracking really comes in handy, is if you can think of ways that you can that where you spend the most time. So if you time track yourself, you're not even going to realize this, but you may be spending a lot of time in a certain area of your life that you could pull in help and get help with. Aaron says, Shark Cleans, Instapot is a lifesaver. I do most laundry, trying to still balance getting clients and taking care of my 5-month-old. Yes, absolutely. And so one thing to definitely note is, oh, this is a really, really good one, guys. Find out any point in your day where you are not productive, where you are mindlessly scrolling on TikTok or Facebook, or you're playing a game on your phone. I still waste a decent amount of time playing Sudoku on my phone. And I've conditioned myself that when I'm like laying in bed with the kids, I can't really do anything. And instead of just scrolling through Facebook, I started playing this game because it was numbers and it wasn't like I was wasting my time, but really in reality, I'm still wasting my time. So if you can find things that you're doing throughout the day where you would consider it not productive. If you were tracking your time and you labeled it, it could be not productive. How can you turn that around? So for example, if you've got a 5-month-old at home, let's say every day at 2 o'clock, you nurse your 5-month-old to sleep and they're going to take a nap. And so normally you just sit on your phone and you scroll Facebook or whatever while you're rocking them or whatever it is. So instead, could you possibly use that time to connect with leads and market in Facebook groups and message potential clients, and send out emails to tax offices? So there is more than likely a way that you can maximize your productivity. So always be looking for pockets of time that you have that you're potentially wasting. That you're defragging, you're scrolling, your Elena Cardone calls this loaf time. Anytime that you're loafing around. So be really aware of that. I really challenge all of you that are watching this to track your time for the next 7 days and come back and let me know what you discovered. And what's really great, and this is super duper hard, but if you track your time in 30-minute intervals, where you specifically have to put it towards a category and you're not allowing yourself to multitask, you will get really aware of where you're spending your time and how efficient you are at things. So highly recommend doing that. All of our inner circle students do this and they are mind blown, and most of them continue to track their time, going into the future, because it is so eye-opening. Let's see. Maddie says she doesn't have anything like that. So yes, working towards, having people that can help you are great. So tell me, guys, if you're watching this, what are your struggles right now with balancing your life and balancing the business and figuring out how to make all of this work for you? I would love to know exactly some of the challenges that you guys are facing right now, because obviously right now in my life, I still have challenges, but I have a full-time housekeeper, I have a full-time chef, and I actually have a household manager. And this household manager is basically like a personal assistant for me. So anytime I need anything done with the house, like we need a tree trimmer, or our lawn guys didn't show up, or the pool guy's out of town, or something like that, then she helps me handle all of that. So I don't have to spend time. And man, I will tell you, I was probably spending at least 10 hours a week doing random things like that. And that didn't count all the other things that I had on my list that I couldn't get done. So for example, this house that we bought has a really cool loft in all the kids' bedrooms, but one of the rooms didn't have a ladder to get up to it. And so we had to find someone on Etsy to like build a ladder that wasn't going to cost a fortune, and then have it shipped here. And then we have to find somebody to come and actually put it together. And I didn't have to do any of that. So it's really awesome to have an assistant like that. But for me, I've worked my way up to that. It wasn't always this way, right? Like I wasn't born into money. I didn't have that available to me. I worked hard, and I've chosen to invest some of my hard work on having people around to help me so I can continue to grow my business. So I want to know what you guys are currently struggling with, because I've been through just about all of it and I have a lot of insight, but I want to know where you're at. Let's see. Dee says, getting new clients by working a full-time job. Okay. That's a great question, Dee. Now, my only struggle with being able to answer this question is that I feel like every job is a little different. So for example, let me give you some examples. And if you're currently working a full-time job, I would love to know, number one, what hours are you working right now? And what does your current job think about you starting a business? Is it a secret? Do they know about it? Do they care? Will they fire you if they find out? Is it a position where you can do a little bit of networking with people during your course of working? So for example, let's say you are a full-time waitress somewhere. Now, when you're doing that job, obviously you can't go in the back room and sit and work on QuickBooks while you're on the clock, because you actually have to wait on customers. However, you could really meet a lot of people and start building your network of potential leads that way, getting business cards from people, connecting with people at the restaurant if you know that they are business owners, or if they mention it, ask for a card. Say, hey, I'd love to connect with you. What do you have? A website? Do you have a card? And starting building relationships with people. Now, if you have a desk job, let's say you're a receptionist and your main job is to be like answering phones, checking emails, things like that, but you have a significant amount of downtime during your day that you can maybe have your laptop up and you can do a little bit of client work or sending out marketing emails for your business during your job. It all really depends on what your current job is. And then if your boss knows about your job or doesn't know about your job, how would they feel about it if you were able to market? So let's say you can't work while you're on the job. You can't work on your business in any capacity while you're at your current job. Can you full-fledged marketing, spend all of your time marketing outside of the full-time job hours? So those would be the questions. I'm assuming that you can. Most people can, even though they think they can't, that they think they might get fired. They think their boss might get mad. Even if you're in a related industry, most of the time you can still do it. So for example, we have a student in our academy and she works in a public accounting firm. And she didn't think her boss would be too happy to find out that she wanted to start a bookkeeping business. And at first, she kept it a secret, but she was still marketing. Well, her boss found out about it. And at first they were like not really happy about it. But after having a conversation with them, they decided she could continue working as well as growing her business. And then when she was ready to leave, she can drop down to part-time, help train somebody, and then move on from there. And they were all on the same page for it. So it really just depends on the type of job that you have. So Dee, if you want to give me a little bit of more insight into what your job is like, but knowing that you have to create extra energy for a short period of time to be able to spend more time on the marketing, growing your business outside of your full-time job. You have to be able to do that. So, and then, but the most important thing too is deciding what are your goals? What does that look like? When do you want to be able to leave that full-time job? How much money exactly do you want to be making per month in your bookkeeping business to be able to leave that full-time job so that you can put all maximum effort into your business? Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, I already make like $5,000 or $6,000 a month at my business, so I need at least that to quit. Why? No, you don't. If you have grown your business where in 1 month, let's say in 1 month, you get $3,000 a month in clients, why wait a whole nother month and suffer with 2 jobs, all these, like, your business and your clients, and then marketing to try to get up to that in month 2? You've already proven to yourself that you can get clients and you can make this work. So do you really need a cushion? Do you really need to get back up there and fully replace your job before you quit? Or wouldn't it be less risky at that point because you've proven to yourself that you can actually make this business work? So go ahead and quit your job so you can put way more time and effort into your business and maybe, just maybe, make $6,000 in the second month instead of another 3. And then you'll be way ahead. So that's kind of what I did. When I started my bookkeeping business, I quit first, and then I put myself under pressure. So let's say I wasn't making that much. Even as an accountant with a degree and a CPA license, I think I was bringing in like $3,000 per month after they took out taxes and everything. And so I think I was paying about, I don't know, $1,500 a month or something outrageous for a nanny to watch my daughter, my newborn. So I was only netting about $1,500 a month after taxes came out and after paying my nanny. So I knew that wasn't going to be that hard to get $1,500 a month. That's not that hard to make. And so even though I had no idea how to do it, I didn't know what I was doing, I quit my job, I jumped out there and I just went after it. I just started going. And I within a few months, I found more than $1,500 a month. And that was like starting from scratch. I had no mentor. I did not know how to do marketing. I didn't know how to price my services. I didn't know how to do anything. It only took me like a month or 2 to figure that out and get that. My first client paid me $600 for a one-time project. So when I started to see that, I knew really quickly that this had massive potential. So I felt comfortable. It didn't feel risky to me. So then fast forward 7 months, and I wanted to retire my husband. Did we have enough to replace his salary? No, but I could comfortably pay for most of our bills. I don't think I had any extra disposable income for like going out to eat or going to the movies or anything like that. But I knew from my past history of seeing me grow this business with clients on my own with no help from anybody, that if he came home, I knew that I would be able to explode it. So even though it was what some might say financially risky for him to quit his job and retire, I was really able to easily make money. So as soon as he came home, the next 3 months, I made enough money to pay for our entire mortgage payment for a whole year. I didn't have a savings account, so I didn't even have to worry about it. So what I'm saying is, sometimes getting new clients while you're working a full-time job, you can really showcase yourself that you don't actually need to replace your full salary before you quit and focus on your business. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're working a full-time job and you're wondering, when should I quit? When is a good time? It's, your personal preference, right? It's totally up to you, but keep in mind how much more time that you're going to have to be able to focus on your business when you walk away from that full-time job. And it just really depends on what you're able to do during working hours. Do you have an hour lunch break that you could start to go spend? Take a sandwich with you instead of going lunch with your coworkers. Take a sandwich, sit at your desk, and spend an entire hour sending out marketing emails to tax offices looking for a referral relationship. So there's a lot of things that you can do. Find, just again, going back to looking at everything you're doing in the day, where are there pockets of time you're wasting? And that will tell you exactly where you can maximize your efforts towards growing the business. So let me know if that helped, Dee, or anybody else listening. What did you think about that? Maddie says, not having confidence in what I know. Yes, so there is an element of you have to learn these skills. The Academy is set up to where you can learn the basics, and then you focus all your efforts on marketing. And once you get clients, we walk you through how to do everything. So you gain confidence by doing. So that's kind of how confidence works. You gain confidence by having the experience, by working through the issues, coming out on the other end, producing amazing work. Boom, confidence goes up. I can think of a lot of people, specifically several people that are actually coaches in our program right now, having a lot of issues with self-confidence when they started their business. And we did a lot of coaching on go out and do it. It's okay. You're going to be fine. It's going to work out great. You're going to do a great job for these people. Even if you don't know how to do it yet, I know you're going to do a great job for these people. So go out and get those clients. She went out and got the clients, even though she was totally scared to death, came back in, by the second, third, fourth client, she felt confident in her abilities to figure it out for her clients. And then when we asked her to come in and be a mentor and a coach for us, she was nervous again. What if I don't know enough? What if I can't answer the questions that the students have? And now after pushing her into that position, and she realized, I do know this stuff. I know this so much more that I can teach it to someone else now. And that gave her confidence. She didn't get that confidence until she did it, till she went out and did it. I did not have confidence in my ability to grow my business until I started it and I went out and did it. I didn't have confidence in my ability to replace mine and my husband's income until I actually went out and did it. And then that gave me confidence to know, okay, I can get us to the next level. I can start stockpiling money away. I can do whatever I want to do with it. I have confidence in growing my business now. And when you have a business, you're going to be faced with that dilemma all the time. Feeling fear and a lack of confidence around doing something new. And the only way to get over that is to just literally do it. You just have to do it. And then when you do it, you get confidence because you learn how to do it. So Aaron says, getting clients in general, I've followed your email guides for businesses and CPAs. I've been in networking groups on Facebook, but they seem to only be busy with the same promote your business posts. It's hard to get out there, how network with a little one. Okay, so with marketing, you have to keep going. You have to be consistent. You're not always going to see it. So for example, if you're in networking groups and maybe you're doing social media or even you're emailing, you can't just email someone one time and be like, oh, well, they didn't like me. They didn't respond back. You have to email them again. Hey, I sent you an email last week. Are you interested in talking? Hey, sent you 2 emails last week. Do you want to hop on the phone and see if we're good to work together? Hey, I sent you an email last week, but I just wanted to check in. Did you see this article about my business? I don't know. There's so many things you can do, but don't be afraid to follow up with people. And if they don't want to work with you, they'll tell you. And you can tweak your approach, tweak the words that you say, so that you're not coming off as like, just being annoying, but you're being top of mind. You're staying, in their mind, and you're staying relatable. You're staying, top of mind is the only thing I can think of. But with marketing, you just have to keep going. The Facebook groups, there's a process to that. There is, a significant process to how you can interact with people, how you do that. And I've never had luck with the Facebook groups where all they want you to do is promote your business, because nobody really goes back through and scrolls through that. So you have to engage, provide value, become friends with the people in those groups, and give them value, give them tips, bookkeeping tips, QuickBooks Online tips, offer people discounted QuickBooks products, things like that. That's what really builds clientele from the Facebook groups. Miranda says, trying to find time to make kids appointments, take kids to appointments, remembering to sign kids up for sports activities while also maintaining my work life and a healthy lifestyle for me. I love to lift weights in my free time. Awesome. Yes. So, Miranda, it's going to be really, really important for you to make a schedule and know that your schedule is probably not going to happen perfectly and that you're going to have to change it from time to time, but it starts with making one. If you make a schedule and you have to change it or tweak it, then you know next week when you make a schedule, what worked, what didn't work. And eventually over time, you make one small tweak each week. Over time, you're going to have a schedule that works really well for you. Now, for us with a lot of kids, this is difficult because as your kids grow and they go into different stages or they start different activities or whatever, your schedule is going to be like ever changing. But there are certain things that you can really tweak and work out with as you plan your weeks out and as you schedule everything. So definitely find ways to incorporate. So for example, for us, we moved our weightlifting. We have weights and we like to lift weights too. And we moved that to the back room where our kids like to hang out and play trains and watch movies and stuff. So in the evenings, when the kids are watching TV, we can go back there and we can lift weights. We're still with them. We're still hanging out with them, but we are also accomplishing that. We're not just sitting on the couch eating popcorn and, not doing anything. Sometimes I do that, but we do have the option to sit back there and lift weights with them as well. And then of course, you just kind of have to plan out your day. Are some of those kids' appointments things that you can have other people do with you or for you? What can you do during those appointments to be productive? So if you're spending a lot of time in the waiting room, can you utilize that time to read a book to your kids so that you have your mom cup filled and you're teaching them? For me, I get my cup filled when I am teaching my kids things. I really like to teach my kid things and bond with them. So if you have pockets of time, instead of all of us just scrolling on our phones while we're in the waiting room, could you potentially take that time to read a book with them or engage with them? And if they would prefer to sit there on their tablets or their phone, could you use that time to whip out your tablet and send out some marketing emails instead of just mindlessly scrolling on your phone as well? So lots of different things that you can do there. And then, of course, one of the things I really loved is going to kids' sports and activities. There's no better place to create engagement and friendships and find potential leads than doing that. So what I started doing is I got t-shirts and clothing and apparels, jackets, blankets, whatever, that had my business information on it, my logo and my business and what I did. And so what you want to do is do that too. So when you're going there, it's just free marketing. People can see that. A lot of parents have businesses. So then they need a bookkeeper. And so people like to do business with the people they know, like, and trust. So if they know you because your kids play soccer together, you're potentially going to get clients. I got a lot of clients that way. And then of course, finding those people on Facebook, friend requesting them. So then they see your stuff all the time. Whenever you're posting about your business, they'll see your stuff. So that's a good way to get a double whammy out of things that you're doing. Stephanie says, I work full-time, 8 to 5. I work remotely from home, but trying to figure out how to market when I'm no longer around people. Okay, so again, checking out the emails, connecting with a tax office is going to be great. Facebook marketing. So get out there and get around people. If you're home all day from 8 to 5, I work from home, and honestly, it can feel like a prison sometimes. So what is something that you can do, especially in the evenings, to get out there? Go to a networking event, join a networking group in the evenings, a women's networking or whatever it is, and get out there and do the marketing in the evening. Find a family-friendly one that you can take your kids to. Get on Meetup and find something if you have kids. If you work remotely from home, what is your schedule like? Can you build in any time during that 8 to 5 schedule where you can do some digital marketing? That would be something that I would suggest. Michael says, for me, it's all of the business setup, like getting the business cards, QuickBooks Pro certification, business phone. I know in the scheme of things, it's nothing, but it's allowing my procrastination side to come through. Yes, absolutely. People get in this situation really easily because they feel as if these things have to be done before they start, and they don't. You don't need a website to get started. You don't need business cards to get started. You don't need to be QuickBooks Pro Advisor certified to get started. You definitely don't need a business phone. I still don't have a business phone. Well, I guess we technically have a Google Voice for the Academy, but we never use it. And I never used a separate business phone for my business. So yeah, Michael, let's get rid of the thought that those things have to be done before you market. They don't. The only thing that you need to know is the basics on how to communicate. And Michael, I know a little bit about you. I know that you know the basics. So then you need to know what your packages are. And you need to go ahead and start marketing and getting people on calls and learning about their businesses and offering your services, because that is the only thing that's going to move the needle for you. So we used to call our How to Set Up Your Business for Success course. It walks you through setting up your back office. It used to be called How to Set Up Your Business in One Day. And I may change it back to that because it should take you one day to go through everything, get all of that set up. Now, it's not all going to be completed, but at least you'll have everything in motion to actually get started, and you can complete all of it in one day. And that's what it needs to take. You need to do it in a day, and then you need to move straight into marketing, because you can't change your life. You can't change your business. You can't change your financial situation if you don't move on to the things that actually matter. Business cards don't matter. Business phone number doesn't matter. Your website doesn't even matter. So get out there and do the marketing. That is the only thing that matters. And after you do the marketing, sales are the next thing that matters. Learning how to talk to people and communicate and how to quote them on discovery calls, that's it. So right now, Michael, the only thing you should be worrying about or focusing on is getting out there and figuring out a game plan for marketing. So hop on the Zoom calls so we can help you with that. So great questions, guys. And it looks like my chef has prepared lunch, and it's lunchtime for my family. So I'm going to sign off here, and I will see you guys all next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. And if you happen to catch this live and you're in the gathering, stay tuned, because in the next day or two, I'm going to post a very robust training on how to utilize a Facebook group to keep track of, nurture all of your leads that you're getting from all of your marketing efforts. So that's going to be something, if you are in the gathering, that you will have access to in the next couple of days. All right, thanks, guys. We will see you guys all next week at 11 a.m. Central Time. Bye.